The plate slips from my hands, shattering against the polished floor of Bella's bistro. Shards of white porcelain scatter like broken dreams across the dark tiles. I can feel every eye in the restaurant turn toward me, but none burn quite like my brother Liam's smirk from table 7. I'm Genesis, and this is the moment I decided my brother needed to pay. Having trouble keeping it together, sis? Liam's voice carries across the restaurant, loud enough to make sure everyone hears. He's entertaining some startup investors, the kind of people who wear watches worth more than my yearly salary. Let me help you with that. Derek, my manager, appears with a dustpan. His presence is steady, reliable. Everything my family isn't. I've got it, I mutter, already on my knees. The ceramic pieces cut into my palms as I gather them, each sharp edge a reminder of every time Liam has humiliated me. You should really consider a career change, Liam continues, his voice dripping with false concern. Something less demanding. Maybe Mother can find you something at her charity foundation? The investors chuckle politely. They don't know they're laughing at years of me working double shifts to put him through business school while he partied his way through a degree he barely earned. Your sister works hard, Derek interrupts, his tone sharp. Unlike some people I know? Liam's smile doesn't falter, but his eyes narrow. Just looking out for family, Derek. That's what we Callaways do, right, Genesis? I stand up, dumping the broken pieces into the trash. Your appetizers will be right out, I say, professional mask firmly in place. Inside, something dark and vengeful starts to unfurl. Actually, Liam says, I think we'll take our business elsewhere. Wouldn't want any more accidents. He stands, adjusting his designer suit. Gentlemen, I know a much better place downtown. Better ambiance, more reliable service. The investors follow his lead, leaving their water glasses half full. As they pass me, Liam pauses. Don't forget Sunday dinner. Mother's expecting everyone there to celebrate my new business venture. Wouldn't miss it, I say through clenched teeth. After they leave, Derek touches my shoulder. You okay? Fine. I'm not fine. I haven't been fine since our parents remortgaged their house to fund Liam's third failed startup while telling me they couldn't help with my college tuition. Take 5, Derek says. Clear your head. In the break room, I scroll through my phone, landing on Mother's latest Facebook post. So proud of my boy, another exciting venture for my brilliant son. The photo shows Liam in front of his new office, Mother beaming beside him. Father stands slightly apart, looking tired but managing a smile. I'm not in the picture. I was working a double shift that day. My phone buzzes with a text from Emily. Saw what happened? Want to grab drinks after your shift? Before I can reply, another message pops up, this time from Mother. Genesis, don't forget to bring the appetizers for Sunday. And please wear something appropriate this time. Liam's investors might stop by. The dark thing inside me grows teeth and claws. I think about the conversation I overheard last week. Liam talking to someone about offshore accounts and creative accounting. About the documents I found in his car when I borrowed it. About all the pieces of a puzzle I've been too loyal to put together. Until now. I text Emily back. Can't tonight, need to do some research. Opening my laptop, I start typing Liam's name into various search engines. If he's been as careless with his business dealings as he has been with his documents, I'll find something. And when I do, Big Brother's going to learn that some accidents aren't accidents at all. Derek knocks on the break room door. Table 4 needs their check. Coming, I say, closing the laptop. As I head back to the floor, I catch my reflection in the mirror. I look different somehow. Harder, sharper, good. I'll need that edge for what comes next. Because Liam's right about one thing. Callaways do look out for family. And it's time someone looked out for me. The front door of my parents' house still has the same creak it's had since I was 12. I pause in the entryway, clutching the grocery bags filled with ingredients for tomorrow's appetizers. Mother's voice drifts from the kitchen, that special tone she reserves for phone calls about Liam. Of course he'll succeed this time. Yes, we're fully committed to supporting his vision. I set the bags on the counter. Mother holds up one manicured finger, signaling me to wait, as if I haven't been waiting my entire life. The investors were very impressed, she continues, pacing. Though there was some unfortunate incident at lunch. Her eyes cut to me, sharp as broken glass. Father sits at the kitchen table, hidden behind his laptop screen. His shoulders are hunched, the way they always are when he's looking at bills. He doesn't look up when I start unpacking the groceries. I'll call you back, Mother says, ending her call. Genesis, those aren't the organic vegetables I specified. The organic ones were triple the price. When it comes to Liam's important connections, I paid for these myself, I interrupt. Since the family credit card was maxed out again. Father's typing stops. That's none of your concern, Mother says, smoothing her silk blouse. And speaking of concerns, Derek called me about your behavior today. My hands freeze on a bell pepper. Derek called you? No, Liam did. He said Derek was incredibly rude to his investors. I had to smooth things over with the country club board. They're potential partners in Liam's new venture. Of course. Derek defending me becomes Derek being rude. The story always changes to fit their preferred narrative. Did Liam mention why Derek spoke up? I ask, keeping my voice level. Or what happened before that? He mentioned you seemed stressed. Mother's tone softens with fake concern. Maybe if you'd finished college instead of dropping out. I dropped out because you and Father emptied my college fund for Liam's first failed startup. Father finally looks up. Genesis? That's not what? Not fair to mention? Or not true? The doorbell rings, cutting through the tension. Mother brightens immediately. That must be Emily with the table settings I ordered. But when she opens the door, it's Liam who strolls in, all designer casual in his weekend wear. Sorry to interrupt the family bonding, he says, not sorry at all. Just needed to grab my old laptop from upstairs. Some important files I need to review. He bounds up the stairs before anyone can respond. Something about his urgency sets off warning bells in my head. I should start the appetizers, I say, moving toward the stairs. I left my recipe upstairs. Mother frowns. Since when do you need recipes? Since I'm trying something new. The lie comes easily. Years of practice. Upstairs, Liam's door is closed. I hear furious typing, then the sound of paper shredding. I push the door open without knocking. Liam jumps, shoving papers into his messenger bag. Ever heard of privacy? Ever heard of knocking before barging into someone's workplace to humiliate them? His smile is razor thin. Come on, sis. Can't take a little teasing? What are you really doing up here? Getting some old files. Told you downstairs. He zips his bag closed. Why so suspicious? Because you're never this nervous about old files. Something flickers in his eyes. Fear? Stay out of my business, Genesis. Focus on your little waitress job. It's what you're good at, right? Taking orders, cleaning up messes? He shoulders past me, but I catch a glimpse inside his bag. Among the shredded papers, I spot a familiar logo, our parents' investment firm. Downstairs, I hear him making excuses to leave. Mother's disappointed voice, father's distracted goodbye. The front door closes with its familiar creak. I stand in Liam's old room, looking at the shredder still warm from use. In the wastebasket, fragments of papers peek out. I pick one up, reading the partial text. Unauthorized transfer of funds. My phone buzzes. A text from Emily. Found something interesting about Liam's new company. Call me. I take a photo of the shredded papers before Mother calls me downstairs. Tomorrow's family dinner just got more interesting. And if I'm right about what Liam's hiding, those appetizers won't be the only things getting served. Emily spreads the documents across her kitchen table, each paper another nail in Liam's coffin. Your brother's been busy, she says, tapping a financial statement. These shell companies he's created, they're all connected to your parents' investment accounts. My coffee goes cold as I study the numbers. The same logo I saw in the shredded papers appears on every header. How did you get these? Remember Jason from college? He works at the Regulatory Commission now. Emily slides another document forward. This is the interesting part. The front door chimes. Derek walks in, still in his Bella's Bistro uniform. Sorry I'm late. Had to cover for someone. He looks at the papers. So it's as bad as we thought? Worse, I say, pushing the documents toward him. He's not just risking his own money anymore. Derek whistles low. These transfer amounts, they're your parents' retirement funds? My phone buzzes. Mother's face lights up the screen. I silence it, but not before catching her text. Emergency family meeting. Come home now. They don't know yet, I say. But they're about to. Emily grabs my arm. Genesis, wait. Maybe we should think this through. I've been thinking it through my entire life. I gather the papers. Every time they chose him over me, every sacrifice they demanded while he got everything handed to him. And now he's stealing from them, Derek says quietly. But exposing him means exposing your parents' financial situation to everyone. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Liam. Whatever you think you know, you're wrong. Don't make me destroy you. I laugh, a harsh sound that surprises even me. He's threatening me now. Emily and Derek exchange looks. What's your plan? Emily asks. The truth. I stand up, documents in hand. Simple as that. The drive home feels longer than usual. When I pull up, Liam's new Mercedes is already in the driveway, next to Father's beaten-up truck. Such a perfect metaphor for our family's priorities. Inside, voices carry from the living room. I pause in the hallway, listening. We can explain everything, Liam says, his voice smooth as silk. Genesis is just jealous of my success. She's always been resentful. Then explain these. I step into the room, dropping the documents on the coffee table. Explain the unauthorized transfers, the shell companies, the missing retirement funds. Mother's face goes pale. Father picks up the papers with trembling hands. Those are confidential business documents, Liam sputters. This is corporate espionage. This is theft, I cut in. From our parents, from people who gave you everything while giving me nothing. Genesis, Mother starts, but Father's voice overrides her. Is this true? He asks Liam. For the first time in years, he sounds like a father instead of a bystander. Liam's mask slips. Just for a moment, but I catch the fear in his eyes. It's more complicated than that. The market conditions. How much? Father's voice cracks. All of it, I say. Every penny of your retirement, plus loans against the house. Mother makes a small, broken sound. But your new office? The investors? Smoke and mirrors, I say. Just like everything else about him. Liam stands, straightening his designer jacket. You've always wanted to tear me down, ever since we were kids. Well, congratulations. You've finally done it. No, Liam. You did this yourself. He moves toward me, and for a second I think he might hit me. Instead, he leans close, whispering, You have no idea what you've started. Actually, I do. I meet his gaze, and I'm just getting started. After he storms out, the silence is deafening. Mother stares at the documents, mascara running down her cheeks. Father hasn't moved, still holding the papers like they might explode. I'll help you fix this, I say. But things have to change. Neither of them responds. I walk out, leaving them to face the ruins of their golden child's legacy. In my car, I finally let out the breath I've been holding. My phone buzzes one last time, a text from Liam. War it is then. I smile, thinking of the other documents still hidden at Emily's, the ones that will really destroy him. Game on, little brother, I whisper to myself. Game on. Father's heart attack comes 3 days after the confrontation. I find out through a text from Mother. Emergency room. Your fault for causing all this stress. The hospital corridor stretches endless and white. Through the window of room 412, I watch Mother dabbing Father's forehead with a tissue, her diamond rings catching the fluorescent light. She doesn't look up when I enter. The doctor says it was stress-induced, she says, voice brittle as thin ice. Are you satisfied now? Father's monitors beep steadily. His face looks gray against the white pillows, tubes snaking from his arms. Karen, he whispers, don't. I found these in the mail. Mother pulls out a stack of overdue notices, medical bills, mortgage warnings. While you were busy destroying your brother's reputation, did you even think about what it would do to us? Those bills are from Liam's. Enough! She stands, perfectly manicured hands shaking. Your father could have died, and where was Liam? Taking care of the hospital payments, arranging for specialists, while you were what? Waiting tables? My phone vibrates. A text from Emily. Don't open any emails from Liam. Something's wrong with the attachments. Mother? Miss Calloway? A nurse appears in the doorway. There's someone from billing who needs to speak with you. In the hallway, a man in a dark suit waits with a folder. There seems to be an issue with the payment method used for your father's admission. My brother handled that. The card was declined, and the account number provided. He pauses. It appears to be fraudulent. The floor seems to tilt beneath my feet, of course. Liam didn't pay anything. He just bought time, made himself look like the hero while setting me up to take the fall. Back in the room, Mother's phone rings. Her face crumples as she listens. What do you mean, denied? The emergency withdrawal, but those are our accounts. Father's monitors spike briefly. My phone buzzes again. Derek this time. Genesis, the restaurant's been served with papers. Something about embezzlement charges. Your name's all over them. The pieces click together with terrible clarity. This is Liam's counterattack, not just destroying my reputation, but framing me for his crimes. Mother, I start, but she holds up her hand. The billing office says someone used my social security number to open fraudulent accounts. Her eyes are cold. They trace the applications to Bella's Bistro's computer system, to your login. That's impossible. I never... Get out. Her voice is quiet, deadly. Your father needs rest, and I need you to leave before I say something unforgivable. In the hallway, my phone lights up with notifications. Email after email, message after message. My bank account, frozen. My credit cards, suspended. My reputation, unraveling thread by careful thread. Emily calls. Genesis, they're saying you stole from your parents. From the restaurant. It's all over social media. Liam's investors are calling for an investigation. I lean against the sterile hospital wall, watching doctors and nurses rush past. Everything I've built, everything I've worked for, dissolving like sugar in rain. And somewhere, Liam is watching it all unfold according to his plan. My phone buzzes one final time. A message from an unknown number. Still want to play? I think about father, pale and silent in his hospital bed. About mother's diamond rings and empty bank accounts. About all the years I spent being the responsible one, the reliable one, the invisible one. Something shifts inside me. Not breaking, but hardening. Crystallizing into something sharp and dangerous. I text Emily back. Remember those other documents we found? The ones we held back? The offshore accounts? The fake identities? Time to use them. Genesis! That's nuclear. You'll destroy everything. Not just Liam, but your whole family. I watch through the window as mother tends to father, her movements gentle now that I'm gone. Always gentler when I'm gone. No, I type. Liam already destroyed our family. I'm just making sure he burns with it. I walk away from room 412, leaving behind the beeping monitors and antiseptic air. In my pocket, my phone weighs heavy with evidence that will ruin us all. Sometimes to win the game, you have to be willing to burn the board. The USB drive feels heavy in my pocket as I walk into Bella's Bistro during the lunch rush. Derek's face is grim when he waves me into his office, closing the door behind us. The investors are pulling out, he says without preamble. All of them. Someone's been spreading rumors about financial irregularities. Liam, your brother was here this morning, talking to the owner about buying the place. Derek runs a hand through his gray hair. Said something about keeping it in trusted hands given the current situation. My fingers curl around the drive in my pocket. One email could destroy everything Liam's built, but the collateral damage would be catastrophic. The owner's considering it, Derek continues. With all the negative publicity. The door opens. Emily rushes in, still in her nurse's scrubs. Genesis, you need to see this. She holds up her phone. A news article shows Liam standing outside his office building, mother at his side. The headline reads, Local entrepreneur steps in to save family business amid fraud allegations. He's spinning it, I say, making himself look like the hero while he takes everything. There's more, Emily scrolls down. He's offering to help your parents restructure their debt. Under his management. The pieces click together. He's not just framing me. He's using this to take control of everything they own. Derek's phone rings. His expression darkens as he listens. The owner wants to see me, now. After he leaves, Emily grabs my arm. What are you going to do? I pull out the USB drive. I have proof of everything. The offshore accounts, the fake identities, the money laundering. Genesis, he's going to take everything from them. The house, the restaurant, their retirement. And if you expose him, they lose it all anyway. Emily's voice is gentle. Plus, they'll know you knew about it for weeks and said nothing. My phone buzzes. A text from mother. Your father's being released tomorrow. Liam's arranged for private care. Where were you? Another buzz. Liam. Tick-tock, sis. Time to decide. Walk away now or go down with everything else. The restaurant's front door chimes. Through Derek's office window, I see Liam stroll in, wearing an expensive suit and his trademark smile. He's leading a group of men in business attire, probably the owner and his lawyers. I can't let him win, I whisper. Then don't. Emily's eyes narrow. But maybe winning doesn't look like what you thought. I watch through the window as Liam charms the group, pointing out features of the restaurant like he already owns it, like he owns everything. What do you mean? You're playing his game by his rules. Maybe it's time to change the game. Derek slips back into the office, his face ashen. They're signing the preliminary paperwork now. Liam's buying controlling interest. Through the window, I see Liam raise a water glass in my direction, a toast to his victory. My phone buzzes again, an email from Father's private nurse, accidentally copied to my old emergency contact address. Mr. Calloway's discharge delayed due to payment verification issues. Please advise. So even while Liam poses and preens, he's still letting the bills bounce, still playing his shell game with our parents' lives. I pull out my laptop, fingers hovering over the keyboard. One email to the SEC, one anonymous tip, one moment of truth. Genesis. Emily's voice is barely a whisper. Whatever you do next, make sure it's about justice, not just revenge. Through the window, Liam signs something with a flourish. The owner looks relieved. Mother would be proud. Her golden child, swooping in to save another family business. I think about Father in his hospital bed, about Mother's blind devotion, about Derek's years of mentorship, about all the people Liam's willing to sacrifice for his own gain. My fingers begin to type, but not an email to the SEC. Something different, something better. What are you doing? Emily asks. Changing the game. I hit send. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying someone's life. It's forcing them to live with the consequences of their actions. Through the window, I watch Liam's phone buzz. His smile freezes as he reads whatever just appeared on his screen. The game isn't over. It's just beginning. And this time, I'm writing the rules. The police cruiser's lights flash silently in our driveway as I pull up to my parents' house. Mother stands on the porch, arms crossed, while two officers talk to Liam in the front yard. Father's private nurse hovers uncertainly by the door. I know what this is before I step out of my car. The email I sent yesterday, the one that was supposed to change the game, has changed it in all the wrong ways. There she is! Liam calls out, his voice carrying across the lawn. Officers, that's my sister I was telling you about. The younger officer approaches me. Miss Calloway, we need to ask you some questions about certain financial transactions. She accessed private accounts, Liam says, playing the concerned brother perfectly. We've been trying to protect her from herself, but when we discovered the extent of the fraud, that's not true. My voice sounds hollow even to me. Check his offshore accounts, the shell companies. I have proof. The evidence suggests otherwise. The older officer interrupts, holding up a familiar-looking USB drive. My USB drive. Your brother provided this, along with documentation showing you used his passwords to access company accounts. Mother's voice cuts through the evening air. How could you, Genesis? Your father just got home from the hospital. I look past her to where Father sits in his wheelchair inside, watching through the window. His face is unreadable. The restaurant's security footage shows you accessing the computer system after hours, Liam continues, and the timing matches perfectly with the unauthorized transfers. My hands shake as I realize what he's done. He's taken every piece of evidence I had against him and twisted it to implicate me instead. The careful paper trail I created to expose him now leads directly to my door. I can explain, I start, but Mother turns away, walking inside to Father. The younger officer pulls out handcuffs. Genesis Calloway, you're under arrest for financial fraud and cyber crimes. As he reads my rights, I watch Liam through the cruiser's window. He's on his phone, probably calling his lawyers, playing the part of the devastated brother trying to save his family from his unstable sister. At the station, Emily waits with Derek. Their faces tell me everything before they speak. They froze the restaurant's accounts, Derek says quietly. Everyone's out of a job until this gets sorted out. The owner, he's talking about pressing charges. Emily touches my arm through the bars. Your father's medical bills, the mortgage payments, Liam's offering to cover everything, as long as I confess. The words taste like ashes. He says he can get the charges reduced. Make it all go away if you admit to everything and agree to get help. Emily's voice cracks. Genesis, he's got them believing you had some kind of breakdown. My cell phone sits on the booking desk, Screen lighting up with messages I can't read. Probably more evidence of my supposed crimes, carefully crafted by my brother's expensive lawyers. The DA's offering a deal, my court-appointed attorney says later. Sign a confession, agree to psychiatric evaluation and treatment, no jail time. And Liam gets away with everything. Your brother is cooperating fully with authorities. His documentation shows he tried to stop you multiple times, tried to protect your parents' assets from your episodes. Through the station window, I see mother and father arriving. They don't look at me as they're led to an interview room. Liam follows, placing a supportive hand on mother's shoulder. Think about your father's recovery, my attorney pushes. The stress of a trial. My phone buzzes one final time on the desk. A text from an unknown number appears on the screen. Checkmate, sis. Ready to admit you need help? I close my eyes, feeling the weight of handcuffs on my wrists. Every move I made to expose Liam's crimes has somehow become evidence of my own guilt. Every attempt at justice has only tightened the noose around my neck. Miss Calloway? The attorney's voice seems distant. The DA needs your answer about the deal. Through the interview room's window, I watch my family. Mother's tears, father's silence, Liam's perfect mask of concern. They're united in their belief of my guilt, just as they've always been united in their devotion to him. Miss Calloway? I open my eyes, facing the attorney. Sometimes the only way to win is to lose everything first. No deal. The visiting room at the county jail smells like cheap coffee and desperation. Mother sits across from me, her designer purse clutched tight against her chest like I might steal it through the bulletproof glass. Your father had another episode last night, she says. The stress of all this. Is Liam handling his medical bills, like he promised? Her fingers twitch against the leather strap. There have been some complications with the accounts. Of course there have. I lean forward, pressing my palm against the cold glass. What did he tell you about the night he was going through his old files, when he was shredding documents in his room? Genesis, please. The doctors say this paranoid behavior. Did you know he took out a second mortgage on the house, in father's name? Her face goes still. That's not possible. He would never. Check the paperwork. The real paperwork. Not whatever he showed you. Look at the dates, the signatures. Stop it. But her voice wavers. You're just trying to hurt him because what? Because he's perfect? Because he's your golden child who can do no wrong? The words spill out like blood from an old wound. Or because he's all you have left now that I'm the family disgrace? A guard approaches. Time's up. Mother, please, just look at the documents. Ask father if he remembers signing anything while he was on medication in the hospital. She stands, gathering her purse, but she pauses, and for the first time in weeks, really looks at me. Why would he do that to us? Because he could. Because you taught him he could get away with anything. The guard steps closer. Mother turns to leave, then stops. Emily brought something to the house yesterday. Bank statements she said you'd want us to see. My heart skips. The backup files. Emily found them. Later, in my cell, a different guard brings me a message. Your brother's here to see you. Liam sits at the visiting room table, immaculate in his suit. No glass barrier this time. He's pulled strings for a private meeting. Quite the performance with mother, he says. But it won't work. They'll never believe you over me. They might, once they see the real bank statements. His smile tightens. You mean the ones Emily brought? Mother gave them to me. Apparently they were corrupted files. Unreadable. I feel the trap closing. What did you do to Emily? Nothing, yet. But her nursing license, her reputation, they're so fragile, aren't they? This was never about money, was it? I study his face, seeing it clearly for the first time. It's about control. About making sure you're the only one they trust, the only one they need. You never understood family dynamics, Genesis. Someone has to be in charge. Someone has to make the hard decisions. Like deciding to bankrupt our parents? To destroy everyone who gets in your way? His mask slips, just for a moment. I protected them from your instability. Your obsession with exposing you? I lean forward. Mother's looking into the second mortgage. Father's signature won't hold up under examination. And Derek? He kept copies of everything. Liam stands abruptly. You're bluffing. Derek left town. Did he? Or did he just tell you that? Guard! Liam's voice cracks. We're done here. But I see it now. The fear behind his eyes, the desperate need for control. You can't keep all the plates spinning forever, little brother. Something's bound to crash. He turns back at the door. Enjoy your new home, sis. I hear the psychiatric ward is lovely this time of year. Say hello to Mother for me. And Liam? I smile, thinking of the real backup files. The ones Emily didn't bring to the house. The ones sitting in a lawyer's office, waiting. Sweet dreams. After he leaves, I press my forehead against the cold metal table. In the end, it was never about winning or losing. It was about making him feel what I've felt all these years. The constant fear of everything falling apart. The guard returns. Your attorney's here. Says there's been a development. I stand, straightening my prison jumpsuit. Sometimes victory doesn't look like triumph. Sometimes it looks like watching your enemy destroy himself, one desperate move at a time. And Liam's next move? That's going to be his biggest mistake yet. The charges are dropped on a Tuesday. I stand in the courthouse hallway, watching Liam through the crowd as reporters surround him. His perfect mask slips when he sees me, just for a second, but long enough. Miss Calloway. The district attorney approaches, looking uncomfortable. Given the new evidence, we'll be pursuing charges against your brother instead. We'll need your testimony. I shake my head. You have the financial records, the forged documents, the witness statements. You don't need me. Emily appears at my side, Derek close behind. The restaurant's new owner wants to talk to you, she says, about managing the place. Through the courthouse windows, I watch Mother helping Father into their car. They haven't looked at me once today. Maybe they never will again. Genesis. Liam's voice cuts through the noise. The reporters turn, cameras ready for the family drama. We can still fix this, together. Tell them it was all a misunderstanding. Like you told them about me? The hallway goes quiet. Or like you told Father about the second mortgage while he was sedated. I did everything for this family. No, you did everything for yourself. He steps closer, desperation cracking his polished veneer. They'll lose everything. The house, their savings. Is that what you want? They already lost everything. The moment they chose you over truth. Mother appears in the doorway, her face pale. Genesis, please. He's your brother. No. I turn away from them both. He's your son, your choice, your consequence. Derek touches my arm. Cars waiting. Outside, reporters shout questions about family betrayal and revenge. I walk past them to where Emily's car idles at the curb. Behind me, I hear Liam's voice rising, spinning one last story, trying to hold his world together with words. But words can't save him from the federal investigators waiting in the wings. From the forensic accountants unraveling his schemes. From the truth he thought he could bury under charm and manipulation. You okay? Emily asks as we pull away. Through the rear window, I watch my family growing smaller. Mother's rigid spine, Father's bowed head, Liam's desperate gestures to the cameras, a tableau of denial and delusion, frozen in time. The restaurant opens under new management next week, Derek says from the back seat. Staff's coming back, even got some investors interested. Good. I touch the window glass, cool against my fingertips. They deserve better than what Liam did to them. So did you, Emily says quietly. My phone buzzes. A text from Mother. Whatever happens, you're still our daughter. I don't respond. Some wounds don't heal with words. Some families don't survive their own truths. At my apartment, Emily helps me pack the last box. Derek carries in takeout from the diner down the street, the one where I'll be managing once the paperwork clears. You could stay, Emily says. Help the prosecution. Watch him face justice. I close the box, sealing it with tape. Justice isn't what I wanted. Not really. What did you want? Through the window, I can see the hospital where Father had his heart attack. The restaurant where everything started. The house where I learned that love sometimes comes with conditions. I wanted them to see him. Really see him. I pick up the box. And now they do. That's enough. My phone buzzes again. Liam. You won. Happy now? I delete the message without responding. There's no winning in a game where everyone loses something. There's just survival and the choice of what to carry forward. Ready? Derek asks, holding the door. I take one last look around the empty apartment. At the life I'm leaving behind, the family I'm setting free. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone else. It's about saving yourself. Ready? Outside, the evening air feels different. Lighter somehow, despite the weight of everything that's happened. I think about Mother's text, about Liam's desperate final play, about Father's silence that said more than words ever could. Emily starts the car. Where to? I don't look back at the city skyline, at the familiar streets and haunted memories. Some stories don't end with closure. They end with choices, with the courage to walk away, with the understanding that sometimes the greatest revenge is simply becoming someone they can't break anymore. Forward, I say. Just forward.